you grow up in an Islamic environment with Islamic teachings, what you learn very much is that you're basically a slave and you're an animal. You're a slave. You are a disgusting. You're a terrible being. You will most likely go to hell and burn for quite a while, even if you are a Muslim. Um, and you have to ask Allah for forgiveness all the time and do everything He says and not do these minor little tiny little things that He says do not do them, because if you do them for every single thing you will probably get punished and tortured. You will, and the Quran is
And
quite
you won't like it. You will not like it.
is quite explicit about it. It's like this is going to, you are going to be tortured. Your skin is going to be going to be torn off, and you will burn, and you will be frozen, and you will be revived again, so that you can suffer over and 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 over again, and you will not like it. So this is basically the Islamic way, and you basically just learn that you are a disgusting, filthy slave, and if you as a slave misbehave, then you will get tortured. If you do something good, then you might get treats, but don't keep your hopes up. To come from
Hey,
that environment.
one second. So I just wanted to point out like the Quranic basis and the idea for what you're saying. Yeah. So what you were saying there, guys, he's not making this up, and he's not just saying like culturally you were treated as like you're nothing but a slave. That's what the Quran says. It's Surah 19, I think 88 to 91. It's no one comes to. It's talking about people who believe that God has a son, or that we're children of God, or that Jesus is the Son of God. That whole collection of beliefs says no one comes to Allah as anything other than a slave. And when you say anything else, that God is your father, that you're a child of God, or any of that, the universe is ready to fall apart because you're talking like that. So that's how bad thinking like that is, according to Islam. You are to think of yourself as nothing more than a slave. Now, because you're nothing but a slave, you have two options. You can be a good slave or a bad slave. If you're a good slave, you'll be rewarded. If you have a slave and he's a really good slave, you would reward that good slave. If you have a bad slave, then you would punish that bad slave, and so on. But you're still just a slave. It's just up to you whether you're a good slave or a bad slave. But notice, there is no unconditional, tying it back to what Ayan is saying, there is no unconditional love there. You don't unconditionally love your slave. You love him because he's doing what you say. And this is exactly what the Quran says. Allah has no love until you first love him and Muhammad and obey them. In other words, you show that you are a good, obedient slave, and then Allah can love you because you're doing everything he says. So that's one idea. But the distinction there is, if you have a religion where you are a child of God, you are more than just a mere slave. You are a child. And what's the difference between a producing a child versus having a slave? Well, a slave would have to earn his owner's love. A child, a parent just loves his or her child, and so you'd have a just which religion you're in would affect your view of your status with God, what you are according to God. If you view yourself as a child of God, and that's what your religion teaches you're a child of God. Oh, okay, well, God loves me. If you view yourself as a slave, well, I have to earn God's love. So big difference. One little side note there. Jesus in Matthew 5 actually condemns that kind of, the Islamic kind of love, when he says, when you love people who first love you, what are you doing? Don't even pagans and tax collectors and sinners do that sort of thing. And so that's when he says, love your enemies, because your Father in heaven loves your enemies as well. And so that becomes just a radically different that becomes a radically different view. But what's interesting there is Muslims claim to respect Jesus, and yet Jesus actually condemns Allah's love. If you only love people who love you first and do everything you say, and then you love them, what are you doing? What are you doing more than like a normal average, just like human being? So anyway, huge difference there. Anyway, well, I wanted people to understand that. But go ahead, AP. With
Anyway,
your
but if when David interrupted me rudely, as always, I was just talking about what you are taught in Islam. And in Islam, you are basically taught that you are to obey Allah, or you will get things poked and shoved into you, and you will be tortured. You will be brutalized in hell, which is a terrible place of suffering, where Allah just wants to get back at you for being such a horrible slave and not being good enough. The Quran explicitly says that Allah created mankind only so that they worship Him, and He also created many of them, or if not most of them, to basically burn them in hell. To burn them, to torture them forever. So this is what Islam is. This is what Islam does. It's kind of funny. I'm looking at this tool here, which is totally just a home decor, which has 99 names of Allah on it, and I came across al-adl, which means the just. It stands for the most just. So Allah is the most just. It says right here on this home decor,
so you know it's
and
true.
yeah. So that means that Allah is described as the most just, and the most just means that He will put things up people, or rip their skins off, or burn them, or freeze them, set them on fire, torture them forever, and then put it back on again, and torture them again and again.
Hmm.
Even if you are a good Muslim, even if you worship Him, even if you do your prayers, for some things that you did, including, for example, for peeing on yourself and then praying and so on, you will be tortured. So this is what Islam is. It always depends on just being a fully obedient slave to Allah, which is why it is also called Islam. Islam literally means submission. Submission. You are nothing. You are only supposed to submit to Allah or be burned forever, or burned temporarily, because that's what Allah likes. He loves it. And going from that culture, learning those things, going from the constant fear, to suddenly the Christian way of thinking, and reading the Gospels, or just even reading the Old Testament, just reading the Bible, and being introduced to a completely different understanding of God, makes a great difference. It does make a great difference. I remember many years ago when I first started properly reading one of the books of the Bible from the beginning. It's kind of I mean, I had a look at that before because I had doubts and I wanted to compare. But then when I started reading it from the beginning, I thought I was a little bit amazed, and I still am amazed nowadays when I read something in the Bible, and it just appears to be completely different from the idea of God that I was taught in Islam. It is a really messed up, hateful, traumatizing, painful idea of God. And it teaches you that your entire existence just consists of being a slave to this messed up being that just wants you to worship him, and will punish you if you don't worship him well enough, and will most likely send you to hell forever to torture you just for fun. And that's why he created you. It's a very very different world. To then be introduced to the biblical God is a profound experience.